King Ray Ray in this bitch. Ha!
I think that as men of the Most High, we want to continue to grow spiritually. But we all get to that point. Growing spiritually at first is easy. If you start from square one, just from being a man of the world, improving that spiritually is easily. Developing spiritually, growing spiritually is easy from that point. Because all you got to do is make simple changes. You change your diet. You change the way you move on the Sabbath day. Move at all on the Sabbath day. You honor the Shabbat. You stop eating the wrong things. You stop hanging around the wrong people. You stop indulging in the wrong thing. You stop talking the wrong way. That's the easy part. Then you get into the part where the tricks of the enemy come into play. And this is a very sketchy area because this calls for you to let go of some things, not just things that you have, innately grown to enjoy, but things that you actually love. Your music choices, your choices in television programming, your choices in environments, the things you're willing to see, the things you're willing to not see. See, let me tell you something. They say the greatest trick of the enemy is to make the world think he doesn't exist. I say again, they say the greatest trick of Satan is to make the world think he doesn't exist. Now, to make someone think you don't exist when you do, it sounds like a trick to me, a trick of the enemy. And nowhere is this more prevalent than the trick box. Because let me tell you what television does to you. It puts you in an emotional state that you wouldn't normally be in based on something that's not even really taking place. How many times have you felt yourself angered by watching some movie where some black woman or black man or black child was being treated unfairly? How many of you watched Mississippi Burning and felt some kind of way? How many of you watch Roots and felt some kind of way? How many of you watch a show like Power and see Ghost's wife cheating on him with the driver and think, oh man, these women ain't nothing? You see how you can be provoked and evoked to feel an emotional response to something that's not even real. And another thing that happens, your favorite show is probably filled with sin. Now, I know somebody's going to say, but that's just TV, Dr. BOA. What does that have to do with anything? You're acting like TV is real life. No, TV isn't real life, but if it gives you the same emotional response, guess what? It gives you the same spiritual response. See what I'm saying? If television causes you to be angry, it's the same type of anger you feel when something in your real life angers you. If something on television makes you vindictive, it's the same thing that happens in your real life that makes you vindictive. The book of Isaiah, chapter 33, verse 15 says, he that walketh righteously and speaketh uprightly, he that despiseth the gain of oppressions, that shaketh his hands from holding of bribes, that stoppeth his ears from hearing of blood, and shutteth his eyes from seeing evil. He shall dwell on high. His place of defense shall be the munition of rocks. Bread shall be given him. His waters shall be sure. So here we're looking where a man who stoppeth his ears from hearing of blood. And see, this stopped me from listening to some of my favorite songs. NWA Gangsta Gangsta is one of my favorite songs. But throughout the song, they talk about blowing guys' heads off and all of that. Now, some beta male said, my Johnny gonna say, well, it's just a song. Yeah, but it's just a song. But in my mind, I envision what they're saying. It invokes a vision of a man with his head blown off. How can I do that? Because I've seen a man get his head blown off. You understand? It invokes those visions in my mind that I've already seen. It's not a figment of my imagination. It invokes visions of blood. That is why the inner city is such a dire environment, because all of the things that a man shouldn't do are left there to him. He grows up seeing those things. It becomes normal for a man. Normal for a man, for a child even, to allow his ears to hear of blood and allow his eyes to see evil. And he's also more likely to take a bribe and not despise the gain of oppression. As a matter of fact, destroy his own people in order to gain monetary advantages. See, we live in a society where either you got to join all the way in with the Most High, or you just a nigga that just know the word. Knowing the word ain't nothing. You can sit down and talk about it all day. But if you ain't sticking to it and picking bits and pieces, well, I ain't gonna eat the swine, but I can't stop watching my favorite show. I can't stop watching The Walking Dead. Come on, man. You sitting watching a show on TV, man, that simulates a real life experience. Think about this. How many times have you been somewhere watching I'm talking about a crazy movie, a crazy horror movie for the first time, and you feel a little energy. I'm not saying you're afraid when you're watching the movie, but you can feel the evil energy of the movie. Energies don't have to move like we move as humans. Satan is the chief master of the airwaves, man. All of these evil energies move throughout these communication sources that we use. How often has somebody sent you a text and you wanted to rip their head off, and they didn't even mean what you thought they meant by the text, but it put you in a violent state of mind? You were offended by some words that you took wrong because it was sent to you through a medium as opposed to said to you from a person. Social media, mass media are the greatest tricks of the enemy because we don't take it to be evil. We think it's just something we do. We listen to all of these violent songs, man. All of our favorite songs are violent songs, or songs are about oppressing people to gain money, or blowing people's brains out, or doing whatever it is, man. Especially hip hop. All of our favorite hip hop songs talk about the same things, man. All of these things. And the more you stay in your emotions, and it don't matter why you in your emotions, the more you stay in your emotions, the less likely you are to be in your spiritual space. Your ass can't be angry and be in your spiritual space. You can't be heartbroken and be in your spiritual space. You can't want to blow somebody's brains out and be in your spiritual space. You can't find the peace of mind that your spiritual space brings when you are constantly being provoked by a source that's not even realistic, man. Think about how crazy that is. Now, let's also talk about this, man. Yes, and look at how all of the songs now are chants, man. Everything is chanting now. And it's been going on like that for a minute now. Everything's been a chant. And don't think about the song. Think about the spirit that the song puts you in. Think about the spirit that the movie puts you in. That's why when you hear me say all I watch is comedies, man, that's all I watch. And it's got to be slapstick comedy. It's got to be just crazy comedy that's hella funny. If not that, I ain't watching nothing. You understand? I don't watch sports enough to be inclined to follow any particular team. You understand? When you see me wearing the Bama hat, it ain't about the school. But I know that, that there are fans of other programs that feel some kind of way about that hat. So I kind of do it to agitate people a little bit. But the bottom line is this. When you find two men in a fist fight because one man supports the Dallas Cowboys and the other man supports the New York Giants, those men have been provoked to evil by something that don't even matter. Something that ain't even real in their lives. Now, let me tell you why men are so quick to not even worry about these things. See, it's easy for me to say it, and men can feel it and understand it. But let's talk about why men don't pay attention to it. Why is it that men can see this and hear this and they won't pay any attention to it? See, let me tell you what the problem is with us now. This is why we know the word and we hear the word and we understand the word, but we don't apply it to our lives. The bottom line is, how can you dare say you're a man of God, man, when you look right in the beginning? If you can't start from the beginning of the book and make changes, what are you doing? If you can't even honor the Sabbath, you can't even stop eating pork and all those damn sea creatures. Ain't no such thing as seafood. The only seafood is fish that don't have fins and scales. All those other things are sea creatures, man. But let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes, man. Chapter 8, verse 11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. Let's think about that. Men continue to do evil because they aren't punished immediately. You know why they aren't punished immediately? Because we don't stone men in the middle of the city anymore. There is no punishment for things that used to be punished. So a man can live his life however he wants to, and all he has to worry about is what's going to happen to him after he dies, or what's going to happen to him later on. But the punishment for sin is not something that comes speedily and is executed, expeditiously in our lives today. So it's a whole lot easier to do things that we know we shouldn't be done. You see, a lot of men do a lot of talking about the word of the Most High. But they just like they're just like an old crooked Baptist preacher, man. They're doing everything during the week and then coming to church, man, and try to spread the Holy Ghost on Sunday. They know the word. Everybody else don't. And so if they don't know the word, they think you're a man of God because you do know it. But how does it reflect in your life? What are you doing with your life every day? If you out here freaking off all the time, being a whoremonger, you are not a man of God. If you're out here lying and deceiving people, man, to make money and getting over on people, man, trying to present a service to them or a product to them that's not authentic, man, you have them paying a price like it's an authentic product, you are not a man of God. See, you can't just wake up one day and say, I'm a godly man. I follow the Most High. I know the word. I know the word. I'm a godly man. No, that's not the way it goes, brother. You got to make a decision, or if you're going to live your life according to the word of the Most High, or if you just going to know the word of the Most High and be able to chop it up with people about it sometime. When I tell men, man, 6 months out of every year, man, I'm celibate. 6 months out of every year. I like to call it abstinence. I don't really like the word celibate. I don't know. It sounds kind of soft to me, man. Celibate. I don't want to be celibate. I'm abstaining. Every year. Right now this year, July makes 6 months. See what I'm saying? 6 months in a row this time. You see what I'm saying? And I may go the whole year. I don't know. I may go the whole year. I may go from now on. I don't know. It just depends on how I feel. I may go forever. Who knows? But I ain't gonna let no man tell me, ha 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 ha, he hadn't had sex in 6 months. Ha 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 ha. I don't give a damn what you say. I care about what the Most High say. How the Most High feel about me. And ain't nothing you can say that's gonna do anything to me that can take away what the Most High give me for doing these things and being the way that I am. For making these sacrifices. And half of the boys that talking can't even stop drinking liquor for a week. Can't stop lusting after a woman for a week. Can't stop masturbating for 3 days. And this ain't no knock on you. They're just saying, how dare you be weak and then look at me and try to shun my strength. This is the reality of it, man. I serve God. I answer to God. I honor the Most High. I don't care what now dude got to say, because if you got anything to say about anything negative about what I'm saying, if you got anything negative to say about what I'm talking about right now, then you don't even matter in the large scheme of things. We keep talking about the Most High. We're men of the Most High. We're men. Well, why in the hell we still thinking like the average man? If you're a man of the Most High, why all you talk about is sex? If you're a man of the Most High, why all you talk about is getting women? What separates you from a man who professes that he don't even believe in God? You talk about the same thing he talk about. Because you haven't fully let go of the world. I talk to men about women, but my content is geared toward men who deal with women in relationships. I never tell you how to get women. I never tell you how to get a stable. That's easy. That to me, that don't even need you don't even need to be told how to do that. You know what I'm saying? If you focus on things you need to be focused on, the opportunity to do that comes. I'm talking about men who don't fall victim to the leadership of their carnal flesh, of their lustly desires, their fleshly desires. Their worldly focuses. Those men who want to establish a life the way God wants you to establish a life. And there aren't many men on this particular sector who want to do that. There aren't many men who talk about it. There aren't many men who are about it. There aren't many men who think about it. And that's fine. Hey, man, you can think about what you want to think about.